got another big money maker for you today with one seller who made over $1.4 million in sales. And continuing with our shelving theme, we are talking about the bulky floating shelf today. We'll do a quick tutorial on this and then we'll head over to Etsy and I'll highlight these sellers and show you what they're making. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to make a smaller one, a 20 by 8 inch, but I will just show you how the dimensions line up so you can make this as large as you want. Some of these sellers are selling up to 60 inches. The length of the top and bottom piece is going to line up with the length of the two side pieces. So if you want a 10 inch deep shelf, make these 10 inches. The final piece is the cover piece, so that's going to add another 3/4 inch on it if you're looking for a specific measurement. So just take that into account. So if you cut this one at 9 and 9 1/4, 3/4 piece goes on top, you'll have a 10 inch, exactly a 10 inch deep shelf. Glue and brad nail, that's all you need to do. And then we'll put the cover piece on, glue and brad nail. Now we'll put on the faceplate. So that's going to, faceplate's going to be the width that you cut this, and then obviously measure it out. And mine is right at 20. So I did this one at 18.5 because each one of these side pieces is 3/4 inch stock. So that's an 1.5 inches, 18.5, 1.5 inches, 20. I went to public school. So what you might have noticed is I haven't sanded anything yet because you don't really need to, because the only thing that's going to be showing is this outside. So you can actually get this whole thing assembled and then sand it down, which is kind of nice. And as long as your measurements were all cut correctly, then this is just another glue and brad nail job. If you are off by a little bit, that's all right, because you're going to sand at the end so you can sand down. If you went a little over, it's always better to go over than under because you can't fix that under most of the time. It's crazy how simple this is, and that somebody just off of this, obviously probably making them a little more bigger, 24, 36, 48 inches long, has made $1.4 million in sales. Obviously, we're going to patch these holes, we're going to sand it up, and then I'll just show you how to make the mounting bracket, which is the floating part of this. My wife confiscated that last shelf I built a couple videos ago instead of letting me sell it, and she liked it in carbon gray, so I'm doing this one in carbon gray as well because she'll probably take this one as well. All right, there we go. All right, for the last piece of this is the actual hanging bracket that brings in the whole floating shelf thing. You're essentially gonna measure this and cut a piece of wood that's the same size of this, and then you're gonna cut arms. They're gonna be the same size as this, minus the 3/4 for that back piece. And you're gonna do 3 arms and 1 back piece, and that's it. So we're at 2 3/8 by 18 7/16. All right, these arms can be a little short. That's okay. But this main backing piece, you want this to be as snug as possible because that's when it's going to sit up against the wall and really hold this shelf in place. Don't have to sand it because it's going to be completely hidden. And then all we're going to do is glue and brad nail these in. If you are so inclined and you want some extra strength, you can pocket hole these, but the glue should be sufficient. It would be an interesting test on the weight of these shelves. doing glue and brad nails for this bracket as opposed to pocket hole screws. That's it, that's the bracket. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the wall and then put the shelf up just to show you how it goes. All right, it would be best if you lined this up with some wall studs. If not, use a good drywall anchor to put these in. I actually have run out of long screws, so I'm using Craig screws, 2.5 inch, just to show you how this will work. Use your level. And then all you're gonna do is slide the shelf on. There you go. Oh, she's dusty. All right, so as you may have noticed from the sweat on my shirt, it is quickly approaching mid-morning here in North Florida, so it's time to get out of the garage and over to the computer to check out these Etsy sellers who are absolutely killing it with this project that takes you 15, 20 minutes to build. All right, first up, we're gonna head over to our big baller here, Mr. or Mrs. J. Thomas Home Goods. I'm gonna do this calculation at the 36 by 10 shelf for $207.68. As you can see, it really varies widely in the amount of money depending on the size shelf you get. So this is a good median to do this calculation. So with 6,849 sales, doing it at the median price of $207.68, that is over $1.4 million in sales in 7 years. Quite impressive. Next we have seller Soil and Sawdust. They sell 3 different types of these bulky floating shelves. One they've sold 370, one 385, and the big one at 5,056 for a total of 5,811. I'm going to take the median price at 119, though like the previous seller, they sell much more expensive shelves. So at the 119 price, they've made $691,000 in sales off of this shelf. Next up is the Urban DI store. What's interesting about this store is they only started selling this product 2 years ago. So this just goes to show that it's still selling, and they have gotten 2,140 sales in those 2 years from their 2 different listings. I'm going to do this calculation at the $128 price, but again, like the others, they go up as the length and the width goes up. So 2,140 sales at $128 is $273,000 in just 2 years in sales. That's great. And lastly, we're going to go over to Done Rustic Designs. They have 5 different listings that are essentially the same for a total of 5,337 sales. I'm going to do it at their non-sale price of $105, and that comes out to $560,000 in sales. As you'll notice, some of these players are the same that make the picture shelves and the corner shelves that I did in my previous videos. So all of these sales combined, they are just doing amazing with their Etsy woodworking businesses. No big outro today. I'm just going to leave you with a picture of me and my future little woodworker. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We will see you on the next video.